Alabama lands a four-star wide receiver that I don't think anybody was expecting them to get, and is definitely an intriguing fit with the way that they've brought in wide receivers in the past couple classes. What does this mean for the wide receiver room and for Alabama in general so far in the 2023 recruiting class? So Alabama brings in four-star wide receiver Cole Adams out of Owasso, Oklahoma, 5'10", 180. Interesting prospect. Definitely at times can go up and get the ball. He is not just used as a slot receiver at his high school. He plays a little bit on the outside as well. Fairly decent burst. Definitely shows some wiggle in the open field. Really good hands, but is an intriguing fit for Alabama right now with the recruiting class they had last year. I mean, right now, you've got Ja'Cory Brooks, Christian Leary, JoJo Earl, Kendrick Law, Isaiah Bond, Kobe Prentice, and Shaz Preston all on the roster with Jermaine Burton. Just adding Adams so far in this 2023 class and not really leading on anybody else at the moment. They did also bring in Tyler Harrell in the transfer portal this year. Harrell, I think, has a chance to be there again next year, even if he has a good season here for Alabama. But Jermaine Burton, if he has a good season, is likely gone. That still leaves a loaded room in Ja'Cory Brooks sitting at 6'3", 190, a five-star just a couple years ago. Christian Leary, 5'10", 185. JoJo Earl, 5'9", 170. Isaiah Bond, 5'10", 175. Kobe Prentice, 5'10", 171. All who could be slot wide receivers on this Alabama team, which is where I kind of think Cole Adams is going to be designated to. Again, he did play a little bit on the outside. I should say a little bit. He was used fairly often on the outside in his high school tape, but I think he profiles more as a slot wide receiver at the college level, and if he makes it into the NFL, at the NFL level as well. But man, it's an intriguing fit, that is for sure. They right now looks like it's going to be Jalen Milrow or obviously Ty Simpson as the future of that program. I should have mentioned as well, he is sitting, as I said, as a four-star already. Wide receiver 40 in the composite, but wide receiver 66 for 24/7 Sports. Obviously, Bryce Young, outside of some injury, is going to go on to the NFL next season. I don't imagine he comes back to Alabama for one more year. You have Jalen Milrow, who's been there for an entire year, and you got Ty Simpson, who just came in this year as a freshman. Both fairly highly touted quarterbacks. One of those guys is going to take over. What worries me about Cole Adams, and maybe this is thinking too far ahead, is the fact that Bill O'Brien is his offensive coordinator. If you go and look at what he did at Penn State, to the Houston Texans, to now at Alabama, those slot wide receivers throughout his entire offense have never really produced much. And Cole Adams coming in here where right now it's still early. There's a lot that he could do in his senior year to possibly change this. But looking at this current roster, I think Christian Leary, JoJo Earl, and Isaiah Bond, I would all have ahead of him easily for the next couple seasons. So maybe he doesn't break out until that third year. If he does go and have two good seasons at Alabama, we know that could likely get him decent draft capital or at least get him drafted. But I don't know that this necessarily changes anything for him. As a wide receiver going into this room, which is still loaded, even though with a lot of young guys. And I don't know that it changes much for Alabama. It's been a slow recruiting process for them. However, let's be fair to Alabama. Nick Saban really starts to kick it in now. Moving toward the end of the recruiting cycle, he always ends up with the top recruiting class. So they'll likely be in on a couple more wide receivers in this class and bring in some more guys. But Cole Adams coming in as a slot wide receiver is definitely, as I mentioned, an interesting fit. We will see likely the likes of Christian Leary and JoJo Earl gone in just a couple seasons. Obviously, Isaiah Bond, a freshman this year, so he'll only be there one season ahead of Cole Adams. But Isaiah Bond can move to the outside. And again, Cole Adams can as well. It's been shown on his high school tape. Whether or not they do that at Alabama, I don't know. But an intriguing fit to start off their class right now as they bring him in as a more of a slot wide receiver. Again, just listed at 5'10", 180. Plays above his size, though. Go watch his film. He's not afraid to go up and get it against some bigger cornerbacks. He's definitely an intriguing fit. And the one thing I will definitely say about Alabama and Nick Saban, he doesn't just go get nobody for no reason, right? He knows what he's doing. So I'm not going to question him. I forgot how the saying goes, but I'm not going to question him. He sees something in Adams. It's definitely going to be an intriguing fit. We'll see how the rest of this class, this is horrible, guys. How the rest of this class pans out throughout the rest of the year. If you guys like this video, give us a like, subscribe to the channel. We would appreciate it. We're trying to bring you guys as much recruiting and college news as we can, as often as we can. Again, enjoy the Elite 11 finals that are currently going on and have